Good evening. Welcome to Choices Podcast. We appreciate you tuning in tonight. I am flying solo tonight. I feel kind of like Big Brother left me in his room with all his records and his high-end stereo gear, and I hope I don't scratch the vinyl. But anyway, we're going to give it a whirl, and Brett is busy with the law and the legal things, and he's trying to help somebody out. Hopefully they made a good decision to hire him. I think so. But we talked a few weeks ago about a list of items that I think we could call the program mindset. And there are a few things that go along with the idea of mindset, and that is discipline, strength, confidence, and ambition. And I might add that if you have a pen and pencil or a piece of paper close by, you should probably grab one and write a few of these things down, because as I get into the twilight of my years, I find that I need to write things down in order to reference them and to remember them sometimes. So we're going to go from there. But speaking of writing some things down, a few weeks ago, we made a list of things that might help us in keeping our mindset squared away. And I've had a particular interesting time because recently I retired. I retired a little earlier than the normal cutoff age because I believed in certain things and I had a plan to do others. So, but this has really helped me to focus on staying on track with my plans. But I'm just going to run down the list, and the program tonight will probably be less than 30 minutes, so I won't take up a lot of your time. But I think that these items are something that are so important, and that I really do believe in them, and I think that they would be very helpful to all of us, any of us. And once again, I appreciate Mark Warner, our producer, for helping out tonight. We're kind of flying by the seat of our pants, but sometimes those make the best episodes. So let's get started. So several weeks ago, we talked about this idea of mindset, and I listed 24 items, and I'm going to run through them very quickly. And if you have any comments or questions, please refer to the comment section and drop us a line, and we'll be happy to answer those for you. But let's start with the first one. Stretch in the morning. Now, this may sound crazy, but the one thing that I've noticed as I've aged, I was a four-sport athlete in high school and college and junior high, and have always been seemingly athletic. And the one thing that I've lost the most is not strength, is flexibility. So the idea to stretch in the morning is very important, and I think that helps us start our day, because you have to kind of concentrate and kind of wake up and think, and it gets the blood moving. So the next thing is to drink a lot of water. Now, it's so convenient just to stop at the store and grab a can of whatever, and I've stopped doing that. I've actually started drinking more water, and I actually feel better. So put that one at the top of your list and just give it a try. And on some of these things, I know that we have good advice for everybody, but take things in little bits and pieces. Knock one thing off your list and then move on to the next. This is one I still have trouble with. It says, chew slowly and enjoy your food. I love to eat, and I'm usually on the run, so that's one I need to work on. The next one, number 4, is, what are my top priorities? Not just for the day, but for the week. And I'm going to tell you, I know this is old fashioned because everybody's got an app on their phone, but I have a day planner and I write everything down. I write when I have to take a child to work, when I go to the gym, what I did that day, if I paid a bill. This is very, very helpful. It helped me in my 43-year career in the landscape and irrigation business. And it continues to help me today because I always know when I did something and I always know when I didn't do something. So, what are my priorities for the day? And that's something that is an individual thing. My priorities at this point is to manage my limited income and to exercise and to be healthy. And those are two top priorities that I can manage on a daily basis. This one's really, really hard for me. Not really. It's listen to music. I do it all the time. I try to learn and discover new music on a frequent basis of all genres, not just certain ones. And I also enjoy it so much that I buy, sell, and trade audio gear, vintage audio gear, and records and tapes. And I even do another podcast about music. Journaling. This is one that people seem to shy away from, but it has become really important to me. And once again, harkening back, this day planner is a journal. You can look back on what I did 2 weeks ago, and you can see the items that were performed, the bills that were paid, the people I met with, what the subject of our podcast was. And so it's not so hard to journal after all, because that in itself is a journal. Now, my grandmother had, I believe it was 120 handwritten front and back journals in her 99 years and 6 months here on the earth. And it has been a really wonderful blessing to look back and to see the progress of her life, to see her ups and downs, and to see why she was such a wonderful, beautiful person. So journaling is of utmost importance. In fact, I even circled that one on the list because I thought it was that important. Um, Another one, ask what's working. Are there things in your life that just aren't working? Is your exercise program not consistent? Are you procrastinating certain things? Ask yourself, give yourself an interview as if you were a parent talking to a child or a teacher talking to a student. What is working for you? What is not? And then make those adjustments. Breathe deeply. I've learned to breathe deeply because I'm hitting the gym 3 to 4 times a week now, and I'm learning that breathing is important. It's really important. In fact, if you don't breathe, it could really be a problem, as you well can imagine. I really like this next one. Put your phone in airplane mode. That constant beeping and badgering of your phone is such a distraction. And there are times where I know that we need to talk to certain people, there's emergencies, et cetera, et cetera. But give yourself 30 minutes a day where the phone is off to the side and in airplane mode and it's not bothering you. I guarantee you it'll be a life changer. I have tried to change my phone habits to the point where I am averaging about 30 minutes less a week of use on my phone. And the phone will tell you whether you're succeeding at that or not. Um, Here's another one. Now that I'm retired, I feel like I have more time to slow down, stop and smell the roses. I should have taken my own advice being in the landscape business for so many years. I didn't really take the chance to enjoy my work. And I've had a chance to do that here recently, and it's been very cathartic and very rewarding to look back on projects that I did even decades ago and see them grow and develop and how they look now. Uh, the next one, move often. I know that sometimes we get stuck behind our desk and we don't move. I have a watch now that tells me, hey, you need to move. And I think that's a kind reminder. And it barely tells me unless I'm at church or somewhere where I have to stay stationary for an extended period of time. Go out for lunch. I'm trying to eat more naturally, and that's one of the items further down the page that we'll get to. But maybe it means go out to lunch with a friend. Get outside. I'm outside frequently. I like being outside. I worked outside for decades, and that's part of the reason why I chose that profession. I actually enjoyed what I was doing, and it was cathartic to be outside. It was healthy to be outside, despite the fact that in Texas it gets really, really warm, but it also gets very, very cold. Um, this is one I really like, and now we're getting into more personal interaction with other people. Give someone a compliment. Um, Now, in this day and time, that could also be kind of a dicey situation. But you know what? I tell my wife, I tell my kids, um, I give them compliments, and I am sincere about it, and it is a life changer for them. Um, Time frame of mind. Let's talk about that just briefly. What is your frame of mind at this time? Um, I know sometimes it's very discouraging. People, especially after elections or before elections, people are nervous, people are tense, and I find it very a huge relief when I can just adjust my thinking and realize that, as the Germans say, everything will be okay if you're prepared and you're trained and you've trained your mind and your heart. Um, Once again, here's another item: eat fresh and whole foods. Well, that goes with the go out to lunch. I guess you'd have to find a place uh, to where you could do that. Question your assumptions. Now, I don't like to second guess myself too often, but it's something that I often do when I'm trying to be very, very sure of what I'm doing. So I'm not saying question everything. I'm saying question some things. And I think that it'll help you prepare and it'll help you make better choices, which is what this podcast is all about. This is one I really, really like. Call an old friend. I recently, um, I recently lost a dear friend of 40 years. We were missionary companions together um, on a church mission, and we had remained friends ever since. He's grown up and had kids, and I got married, and I grew up and had kids and got married a couple of times. And it was really tragic to feel that loss. And I had talked to him just days before his passing, and I'm surely glad I did. So never let those old acquaintances just go by the by. Well, and here's another one as part of that living a healthier life. Move your body in a meaningful way. The gym has been. I was a gym rat as about 15 years ago, and I had been a gym rat for some time. And then, for whatever reason, I just stopped going to the gym, whether it was cost or schedule or whatever. I made every excuse in the book. Now I have no excuses, and I'm really enjoying being back in the gym. Um, Write a personal note. I wrote an email to my parents, and it was very meaningful to them. I think when people have something that they can physically see, it's almost better than a verbal compliment. But don't shy away from giving those verbal compliments. And getting down near the end of the list here, reflect when you have time. Now, I never knew what this meant really until my father kind of trained me on what reflection was. How do I see myself when I look in the mirror? What do I see? That's a reflection. But how is what I do affect others around me? What do they see in me? And then, last but not least, is get proper rest. I can't tell you how much better I'm sleeping now that I'm not under a high stress circumstance. And I know not everyone can retire early, but I'm feeling not only better, but I sleep much, much better. And I think all this whole list of things is a process. It's not something that I've perfected. It's not something that I think anybody can do overnight, but these are just great ideas to help your mindset and help keep you on a positive trajectory. Um, I'm always looking forward to the next day. There are not days where I am just hanging my head thinking, "Oh man, I hope tomorrow never comes." I really enjoy life, and I'm trying to get better at it even. So as I do that, um, I'm trying to not only do it for myself, but I try to influence others, whether it be at church, whether it be at the gym, whether it be in my own household. I think there are simple, certain things that we can all do to help keep our mindset solid. And what are we basing our lives on? Are they things? Are they people? Are they emotions? Those are all things that you should reflect upon every day, kind of like the idea of reflection. So, in conclusion, I realize I've rattled off a whole bunch of information to you. Hopefully, something has struck a nerve. But I hope that Denny and Brett are back next week because I feel kind of alone in the Garden of Eden here. But I appreciate the opportunity to at least expound upon a few things that are very, very important to me. And I hope to see you next week on the Choices podcast. Thanks for tuning in tonight.